It's warm. It's warm in here. I don't know if anybody can hear me. If you can, hello everyone. Welcome to Coffee Talk. I'm Steve. Mark's not here tonight. Welcome back. Good to see you. Happy Saturday. Hey Dom, how are you? There's LA. I see Jay. I see LA. I see Dom. What's up? What is up? Happy weekend. Happy weekend, isn't it? Mr. and Mrs. McPhoebe, hello. Yes, he has. He has arrived. Happy birthday, LA. Happy birthday. We'll put you on blast later when the room's full to ask for happy birthdays, but happy birthday to you. We'll call this your gift. So, the backdrop is nice. This was a gift. This was from a viewer. And we just framed it in some cheap drapes. Hey, Jarella. LA. Margarita, hello. Christine, hello. And then these are from the Christmas tree. The mirror brought the scope ball things. So, Hellfire, how are you? Hello, Marie. Angela G. 1 year closer to 40. I tell you thing, as soon as I hit 40, I started, like, my voice started to drop even more. And then things hurt when the weather changes. Like, I don't know. Sally needs a passport. Hello, how are you? Polly, how are you doing? Hey, Cindy. Saturday's been okay so far, thank you. Hey, Barbara. Saturday's been okay. Was up a little bit late last night. We ended up doing Uber Eats. And that was about it. Watched TV until late. Umoya, hello. And just sat around, drank coffee. From Berlin. Hello, Suan. Tag, wie geht's? Capricorn, hello. So we were just sitting around mostly for that, and I was going over my foodie beauty research, and as I was trying to pull, I'm gonna wait for some more folks to come in, but as I was trying to pull a video together, I'm thinking, I have mixed and hostile. You know, Caroline from Canada. Hello. So we'll see. Get to eat. I got my electric chair meal, chicken fingers and fries. Like if I was gonna meet my maker the next day, that would be the last meal that I would go for. So I was in a mood, so I ordered that. Mark got a burger, I think. A cheeseburger club. That's what he got. So pooping right now. Hello. Lazy and don't want to do anything kick the last month. I feel you. I have to get like through the motions of the first few minutes of everything anymore to just get myself. I trust that I will be properly motivated and prepared when the time comes, because it's like mornings. It's like the first thing your eyes open, and it's like, well, that day's shot, like before I even get out of bed. So I'm trying to go easier on myself with it, but it's tough. It's a tough time of year for a lot of folks too. Winter, spring, cold, dark. So, Stephanie, hello. Wings, pizza, tacos. Yeah, it's a good time. Love your coffee time videos. Well, thank you. We try. They're generally videos. What it's seeming to shake down to now is looking like we do a live coffee talk a month. In some ways they're better, in some ways they're worse, in some ways they're more enjoyable, in some ways they're less enjoyable. So it depends kind of on the format that you like. I know most of the reactors, well, the big ones that Chantal gets on her radar, do the long lives. They do the hour and a half, 2.5 hour live of, I probably spend too much time on Chantal, but that's a lot many times a week to do. If we were a reaction channel, it'd be different though. So I don't think I'm usually on her radar either. I know she knows who I am, but I don't usually have too much shit to talk. So, but again, when I was trying to film this, I was trying to think, what's even handed? There was few things this week that were so, for most people, it would be like break off communication, don't talk to them, don't ever this or that again, especially when it comes to the pet stuff that we'll discuss. But I don't know. Mark said, where the hell did he go? He had to go to Dollar Tree, of course. And then, hey, Eileen, how are you? So he had to go to Dollar Tree and then the supermarket. He's cooking tonight. I don't think he's filming it. I think it's for us. But he's going to be making dinner. So we'll see. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you everybody for coming. Today it is Coffee Talk. We are going to catch up with our fair lady Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantopolis, the Chantal Show. Yeah. So last week we checked in, and she's back. Okay, so she's back from Kuwait. For anyone who hasn't been around in like a while, she's back now, and bullshit restarts like it doesn't even. They should have a loyalty program, shouldn't they, Linda? It's restarted like it never stopped. So she came back to Kuwait, her modest married self, and then within 24 hours she was high, and then she's half-assing the clothing and eating stuff that she's not, all this kind of stuff. All the stuff that she was kind of being holier than thou about when she wasn't doing it. Now she's just, I don't know. I don't know. There should be a loyalty card for Dollar Tree if there isn't, actually, that I think about it. She should be blacklisted. I have to tell you, I'm just going to start with this because it's on my mind first. The shit with the cats. I have notes. These weren't supposed to be first, but the shit with the cats just bothered me. It bothered me so much. And it bothered a lot of people. That doesn't make me special, of course. But I wasn't a pet owner. I didn't grow up with pets. I didn't have a kitty or a dog or anything. Poor Steve. Send the money. Just kidding. And so for me, I got my first pet was Bandit, and Bandit was 4, I think, when we got him. And I was like 33 or something. I was older. You know, I never had a pet as a kid growing up, never ever. Hey, Jazzy, how are you? And after watching her behavior over the last few days, I don't really look at her much different because my expectations were low, but I look at them much different. I'm looking at them now and I'm thinking, you know, again, off Chantal, because obviously her approach made me kind of sick. Looking at things, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. I'd considered changing, like, I just assumed it was a lifetime commitment. You know, even kids grow up, but, you know, the cat will always need us. And we doubled down on being happy to do it when we got 2. So the rehoming idea for a cat, it's so shitty. The back and forth with it is that they weren't getting probably the right kind of love and attention that a well-loved, home-fed cat, you know, needs, you know, because she was like kind of an absentee owner at the end and Pete's was there and where's the food? Can't find it. Someone mailed us some. Oh, he just couldn't, you know, that kind of back and forth crap. We use the cats for content. I'm not going to take that one on the chin. We have plenty of content that is exclusively our cats, but they are volunteers or they are compensated for their time. Well, but I couldn't think about moving and leaving them. I couldn't do it. Or giving them away to somebody. And, okay, people have to go across the world. People have to leave on short notice. I understand there's circumstances where even if a person loves their animals, they don't want to give them away or take them to a shelter. But too much of this situation with her had to do with her pride. No one's going to take care of this animal like I did, and nobody ever will. This flashes me back. There was a family member of mine who was in an abusive relationship in their teen years. And the gentleman in the relationship, who was not the family member, had a dog who was sick. And rather than give the dog away, the guy killed his own dog because nobody can take care of him the way I can. So that kind of flashed. First of all, that story was sick. Thank God it's happened a long time ago and the person has long since passed. But aside from that, hey, Justine, thank you for the super chat. Oh, thank you so much. And I just can't. 18, she put in 18 years. Put in, like she's punching the clock. Like, what does she want, a medal? You know, there are responsibility, which she was never good with. And I mean, if she had had a dog instead of a cat, that thing would have... Cats are a little more self-sufficient. But it wasn't even just rehoming one elderly cat. Okay. It was separating it from the other cat that they've been with all this time. You know, she's like, oh, they're not friends. Does she think, like, if they cuddle on the couch together, they're friends? Like, there's... I don't know. Similar story. I understand people in situations who have to move without notice, without much warning, and have to make short plans. Chantal's not being drafted. She's not being sent overseas as part of the Canadian military. There's nothing that couldn't wait a little bit longer. And she refused all offers of help that were coming through the chat because of her ego, because she wasn't going to have anybody else do it if it wasn't going to be her. But she was damn sure waiting to go to the vet. The timing of BBJ's vet visit, you know, because for a bit this week, the thinking was, where the hell are all the cats? And then Pete's came on and he had BBJ. And then we got the thumbnails or the community post about Sam and about how Sam is going on to a happier place. We got one last bees in, but he looks so happy. He looks a little too happy to me. I don't think she cares. I think she thinks she's trying to act like someone who has no idea how to act sad is acting sad. Like when she's talking about it, she's like half laughing, and I don't know. It's not a crime for her to be not terribly broken up about getting rid of her animals. You know, sketchy, creepy, but not a crime. That kind of applies to a lot of topics this week, actually. You know, when I think about the idea of someone, French fry girl, who'd used the thumbnail of Chantal's mother's home or her driveway, I believe, and had put that post up. Well, is it creepy? A little bit. Is it slimy? Is it illegal? You could see a driveway with your naked eye. There's nothing wrong to film. Anybody who's been in the background of any of Chantal's videos then could lose their shit. Privacy laws in the States are pretty much like, if you can see it with the naked eye, it's not private. If anybody walking by on the sidewalk could have taken a picture, then it's not so private it couldn't be put somewhere. Is it creepy? Is it weird? Yeah, but is it illegal? Remember, Chantal, you only have to answer to the cops, but so does everyone else. So they could make your life pretty uncomfortable without going, into that. Acting sad. Yeah, sociopath has been thrown around, or in some way the idea that she just doesn't feel sad about the cat. She's horrible. I know, Justine. It bothers me. It doesn't bother. Some people take their outrage way too effing far. This situation of hers is outrageous, but there's a fourth wall. I don't feel like we have cats. If Chantal was our next door neighbor and said she was moving and had to give the cats away, maybe we'd offer to take them. But Chantal is a relative stranger who lives part-time in Canada, part-time in another part of the world. And I'm going to offer, I think people well-intended nearby made those offers to help. And she just turned them down because she didn't trust them, because she didn't want them, because she wanted to be right. And I think this appointment that the cat has coming up for BBJ, where they're going to check on its health, and none of that's happening. They're not going to make decisions and see what's what. If he was actively ill and she's not taking him for treatment, then... Yes, Sala, from the farms. Chantal has a habit, though, of when things are found in a way that's unfortunate, but probably legal, even if grimy is interpreted, that's open to interpretation, too. And that she said, well, it wasn't from Google Earth, because those are overhead photos. Every idiot knows that Google Earth, they drive around your neighborhood with a camera on top of the car, and that's how those pictures are taken. But that's moot anyway. And her mother being brought in is because that's where Chantal went. So the story follows her. She's reached a point in her fame or infamy where she cannot do the basic things anymore without people knowing what she's doing, knowing where she's going. And she doesn't get to tell everyone stop. They only have to answer to the cops. So they can do anything up to and including that as long as they don't make it illegal. So, yes, left hand. She's too stubborn and would rather put the cat down than let somebody else take care of it, because that would just confirm that it was never really about BBJ's health. It was about the responsibility of taking care of him. That would betray that. So, for so many years to have a pet, I can't fathom. I always try to, it's often that, now I'm a sap and I have bipolar disorder, so, not for nothing, but when I look at the cats, I get weepy sometimes because I'm thinking they're not going to be here forever. I know my mother and Mark aren't either, or my parents, but I just think, I can't believe, There was a pumpkin on her porch and no snow. She should have known it wasn't a recent pick. Just wants to be a victim. Yeah. I remember those cars coming around. It was weird. It was very weird. What, to get rid of her? Bitter towards BBJ? Yeah. Matter of time she comes across something. She will come across something very dangerous. And it won't be content for her. It'll be content for CNN. It'll be something a little more attention grabbing. More cautious people have had worse things happen. So it's the running back and forth, her mouth, it's like anything. Probably like her pride is terrible. She has a lot of pride for someone with no shame. It's weird, but She's too prideful and stubborn to accept help, even if it would help her, just for spite. Which means this, I need to do what's best for the cats. It's unfortunate that this was probably what was best for them. This is the best that they could hope for, to be rehomed. The only other option is she'd have dropped them both off at a shelter and just left. So it made me sick. It made me sick. I felt like it was a pretty cheap, disgusting look at things. And like I said, I've never had pets before. So, Amber, stop talking about my friend. Chantal doesn't have friends. She doesn't have friends. She has people she talks to on YouTube. She's too focused. The fact that she would to chase money. And I think the angle especially with Saleh and Murad, that business was from one end. I think everyone thought that they were going to get one over on the other people involved here. And it seems like, the joke's on her. She thought she was going to throw her money around, and show everybody and buy her way in. And then it turned out that people were like, well, she showed up with money and opportunities. Fake Amberlyn Reed. Do you know how small I am on the YouTube totem pole that Amberlyn Reed would dip in and out of the chat? So I doubt it. Besides, I have no gripes with Amberlyn Reed. When I started thinking about doing a review reaction type thing to channels I watched, it was down to Amberlyn Reed and it was down to Chantal. And Chantal was easier to follow because Amberlyn, there was too many stories circling all at once. She had a very chaotic social life. And she did some weight loss stuff, but, no, I'm not as interested in Amberlyn. No hate, but no love, no attention, not much else. Only in comparison. And Chantal only calls Amberlyn her friend when she needs her for some fat girl shit. Usually. Nata, hello. Enchanted, hello. I know, a fake. We had a fake Chantal come through once. Which was different. She came and she left. The first time Milk Tea came through, because she pops in from time to time. The first time she came in, I was like, we are a small channel. Nobody who knows. And then she popped. I need very, very little to feel very, very special. Fat girl shit. Mobility, having to explain why you're 35 and you need a jazzy. They relate to each other on that, I guess. Dollar Tree Fund. Thank you, Lindsay. Distraction from my video research procrastination. Well, I hope this gives you a nice break, and thank you very, very much. Chantal hates Amber because she gets triple the views. And even Amber used to get more views than she does now, too. Well, the thing is, though, that's the thing with her numbers this week. So the big metric that changed on the channel, this was in the notes, too. This is going nice and organically, was that she dropped about 1,400 subs quick. Within a couple days. Save me before Chantal kills me. Oh, BBJ. You're safe. You're okay. You can sit next to Bandit. He's over here. So. Donation to your local animal shelter in lieu of the drama. Like I said, it didn't make me think about Chantal any less. That would be hard. But I looked at my pets differently, and I thought, I don't look at them the way that she must look at hers. Should I rearrange my entire future around my cat? If my cat's been there for 20 years or so, I want to make sure all their needs are being met till the end of their life. Not up until, I thought they'd die by now, so I'm just going to give them away. No, don't do that either. That's not nice. More losses after payday. Payday for them is, the money on all of this is just funny. The money end of it. Who's paying who? Did she give Natter 9K? Or did she give, she gave Natter more than that, I'm sure. But did she give Saleh that amount showing up? And with Allah and Murad, the business partner guys, Sandra unsubscribed, hated seeing her. Oh, well, we all have that choice, Sandra. I go off and on being subscribed to her. One time when there was a lot of alerts coming, I was like, fuck, I don't want to keep researching it, so I got them. And then I had shut them off, shut them on, shut them off at different times because we've been covering her weekly here for about 3 years at this point. So, Marissa Rose, welcome. Welcome. Looked at the camera so lovingly. I thought was creepy and yeah. Mm. I need a cigarette. We're not even that far in. So yeah, I became very attached, especially during COVID, because I was home alone with them. I am subbed as a member almost 2 years. Hi, Jamie. Welcome. Well, you don't have to sub here, but thanks. Thanks for the input. I think a lot of people have a lot of different reasons. Like if someone said, like if you're saying to me now, I unsubscribed to Chantal 2 days ago, I'm sure that doesn't mean that the person was absolutely 100% okay with every one of her decisions right up until they let go. Some stuff you got to pick your battles for. But I mean, I don't subscribe. I'm not a snob, but I don't like, hey, Metallica Mom. I don't fart on camera. We don't do shit. Like, there's certain things we just don't do. You know? Did you hear about DC? I haven't watched her in years. And wow, her channel turned into something very different than what I had initially started watching with Media Girl, who I like a lot. But the style of content wasn't one that I liked. I don't like the long lives. You know, we're doing an hour, as I'm in the middle of a live, let me say. That it wouldn't go on that long, but there was this like infighting and storylines and romance with another creator who was rather unpopular and they're unpopular for good reasons as far as I knew. So all that kind of took me away from the stuff that I liked about her, which was she had a smart sort of sense of humor, you know. But then all that's kind of gone with. So, hey Patty, how are you? We mind our manners. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just, you know, don't be a dick. You know? So, I have notes. There are notes that go with them from now on. Chantal has no. Oh, I saw a cough. I thought, no, maybe she hasn't been doing the meth again because she didn't have a cough conspicuously for most of the time that she was in Kuwait. So, DC, yeah, I don't. As far as the direction of her channel and her content, I got no idea what's going on. You know, but like on the low, like was pretty cool when I met and had started talking to. But she was relatively new on YouTube when we were new. Her channel grew faster. But because she was just doing drama gossip and girl world and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, her channel's gone. Generally enjoyed her, but things got muddy. Yeah, Katniss, the muddy part. Like, I liked the topic she was talking about. I didn't like her as a topic, if you know what I mean. Like, her reporting was good, but I wasn't really coming there for her exclusively. It was for her thoughts on a topic that I also discuss. And then things went a very different direction. As soon as I saw those hair extensions, I'm like, she's lost it. She's fallen. She's taking a step back. She's approaching this differently. No money. We'll see. Her views are low. Back to the old metrics, the 1,400 subs she lost. In the scope of having like over 90,000, it doesn't really seem like a whole lot. But those are like active current people who probably just unsubscribed. And her views are like, I don't know, 10 to 20,000. Closer to 10,000 for the last month or so. So she's not getting what she was. Now that we're sitting in lives for 3 hours a day, you know, things may be looking up for her a little bit, or if she has any side jobs or anything. Sub's just a vanity metric. That's why people buy them. They mean stuff to the people who buy them, not to the people who, you know what I mean? Like when we watched Chantal, she gained 600 subs in a day and then lost all of them. Unaddressed. Did you point blank buy those subscribers? Because YouTube found them the next day and they were all gone. These 1,400, she lost little by little by little. If you would go to check her community board and hit refresh, there'd be fewer and fewer and fewer. So Murad and Allah did a live. This is my understanding as far, because Murad and Allah did do some talking today. They seem like just guy friends. They just like the guys. To preface all of that, nobody in this circle with them. First of all, there's too many people, so the stories get all fucked up. And they're all conning, but they all think they're conning the other one. Chantal thinks she's getting everything she needs in her wet, and she can travel, and she can eat, and she can stay fat, and she can go abroad and do all this and that, and it'll only cost her every month's pay. And the people that are with her, I mean, they don't even look like they tolerate her, let alone be like, hey, this is my friend's wife. You know. Darkness. Yeah, she Hey, Elizabeth. People care about animals because animals they need attention all the time. They're vulnerable. They can't feed themselves. They can't do this for themselves. You know, one of the reasons Oscar came with us, again, no saint, but I just think it's like being a decent person. We enjoyed Oscar's company. We fed him. We gave him a place to stay at our last place. He was not as self-reliant as he was before. He was an outdoor kitty. Now he needed us for that stuff. So we felt it was our responsibility to bring him with us because he grew a dependence on us. So now, luckily, we love his company and wouldn't have it any other way. But he came with because it seemed like the right thing to do, and we were able to do it. Imagine being somewhere for 3 months and making actual enemies. Who does that? Everyone knows in your circle, if you have a circle of friends, I know some of us are loners, I've been an extrovert before, that there is that meddling. It's been in circles with men and women I've been in. They just come in as somebody's boyfriend or girlfriend and stir up shit among everybody, try to turn friends against each other. I guess you don't know them as well as you thought you did. I can hear Chantal saying that quote into Salah's ear, trying to split between the guys because she doesn't have power when it's 3 people who know each other on her. So she's got to cut it apart a little bit. So, and Salah is just, I don't know. He's just the face, just the eyebrow of the Febreze company, I guess. So making enemies in a foreign country where you're part of a group that could be targeted easily and without consequence. Like if Chantal got beat half to death in the street, the consequences would be different there than here. You know, and shame is something that you should probably like be on top of. If Murad's turning on Salah, where does that leave Salah? Well, Salah has her, and maybe the money comes through that to them through Salah. So he's still getting paid. The money she'll keep paying money as long as he stays around and still shrugs when she says, I love you. Salah, his friends, Murad and Allah make it kind of sound like Salah's like a duh kind of an idiot, that he just is like going through the motions of life and makes stupid decisions and they trying to kind of help him figure it out. So either he's fooling us all and he's a mastermind, or he's just as dumb as he looks. And they're just moving things around. Yeah. Do I think he's in it for the himbo? Yes. He should be so lucky. He's no prize. I mean, God, just because he's not gross doesn't mean that he's an Adonis either. Salah does seem, like Maria just said, a lot like Pete's. There's a lot of pushover vibe there. Oh, whatever. Oh, it's okay. Oh, I don't mind. And they seem to report that he wants to travel and have companionship and not be fussy because he's been through it with the women there. He don't know what he asked for. This is the karma for both of them, that they will each spend the next however long trying to think they're getting one over on the other one while they both humiliate themselves and lose tons of money in the process. That's content. I'll watch that. That's fine with me. Salah could crowdfund. Yeah. No, you haven't missed a lot, just a sub, you're fine. We're just BSing. It's Foodie Beauty Talk. So we're checking in with Salah and Chantal and the cats and fucking whatever. Whatever! Anyway. I'm with the Delaware theory, but he's an opportunist. I would go with that. Opportunist doesn't mean he has to be ambitious. It could just mean it fell in his lap and just kaboom. He figured he would take advantage of it. You want to give me money? I'll take your money. I don't get how the way she'll explain away some of their behavior and the way it's kind of contextualized or excused is because of the cultural roles of men and women where that is going on. I'm very surprised she hasn't gotten someone to just crack her in the mouth for saying something. You know, sometimes the expectations of behavior, if they're not met by the people in that culture, you will be corrected. So Kung Fu Master. Yeah. A pushover like Pete's, she'll get bored. Yeah, because he's not, you know what he's not doing? Fighting for his woman. He's not on here handling things like a man. This misogynistic kind of culture that's supposed to only have not that, but have it exponentially is not happening at all. He doesn't give a shit what she does because he doesn't like her. He doesn't care. I guess he doesn't even care to be humiliated as a man because the woman he married won't even wear his ring. So He's either very, very liberal for the region, which is possible. He's in his 20s. Maybe he's just very liberal, and he doesn't mind the fact that his wife has zero tracings of being married on her anymore at all. Doesn't act like it. Doesn't say anything about it. So, hey, Patricia, how are you? It's a sticky discussion because it's culture, it's personality, it's he's liberal where it matters. It's cute. So, thank you, everybody. There's about 400 of us in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. Yeah, he doesn't. That's what I had said in the previous, I think, video, Adrian, is either he's super liberal or he just doesn't give a shit. And it doesn't give a shit is what I think it is. I'm sure she'd be thrilled if he'd be on there with some quiet dignity, which doesn't exist apparently in Chantal's circles, to just say, this is my wife, I'm in love with her, please stop talking about her, we are happily doing our life. But she's not going to make foodie beauty money on a couple's channel. It's not. No one cares. No one cares. It's not even interesting. There's other better channels of couples in the Middle East doing traveling, other travel blogs. It's lazy. She just throws her camera on, walks around for 20 minutes, makes a montage out of it, and then kicks out a video because she knows at the minimum X number of people will watch and it will make, so much money. So Swiss Alps. Now there's traveling. Traveling's good. How long you'd hang out if the money ran out? Probably not long. And she knows. So she's probably already exaggerated how much she makes. I'm sure she has a few great months in there. The most lucrative time of her life was when she claimed to be being treated the worst, like by Natter and whatever. So that was lucrative for her. So she, it would look bad for her to dive right back into exchanging with an abusive relationship type of thing. I'd be angry as fuck then if I ever married someone like Chantal. Please check me into a facility. We'll do, Darkness. We'll do. We look out for each other here. It's okay. You're good. I can't understand. Nobody's got anything better going on. Like, she couldn't even find a way to get con domestically. Like, couldn't she stay in Canada to do it? Better looking than 90% of us. First of all, looks shouldn't matter, shithead. But as long as we're better looking than 90% of the people on, why do we have to go halfway around the world and pay our own dowry to get a man? If you just take care of yourself and do your own shit and get your life together, the right man will come. Now, my mom said that to me, and I was a fucking mess when she said it to me, too. And it happened eventually. Mark's just out shopping now. That's there for Chantal, too. I don't think anybody is totally unredeemable, but every one of her choices is just so selfish that it's really hard. And she doesn't think about the consequences for anyone or anything, or the cats, or for anybody at the moment. So we'll see. She can't hold citizenship over their heads in Canada. She always has her card. Even the videos with Natter, she was already stacking stuff. There was one, what is he, walking around the house one time with her phone. She's on her phone, he's on his. They're streaming at the same time because they can't get enough attention just screaming at each other. And as he's walking past, she says in a rather stern voice, "It's not going to sound too good, pal, with you saying you're going to hit me on camera." So she was already trying to get his behavior to change with a threat rather than just request or, hey, if you don't treat me nice, I'm going to leave. No, I'm going to stay till you have to treat me nice. You have to. If you're going to take my money, you have to be nice to me. Okay, so when the people break that deal, Mayor, how are you? What happens then? Is there any consequence? He'll be on the couch instead of being grateful. I don't know. She lives off chaos. Yes, if Nader treated Chantal well, she would cheat. She did it with Pete. She got bored. And blames it and gaslights. Pete's, I had an ex. Chantal, when I say Chantal and I have a lot in common, I don't mean real time. I mean, I was a psycho, selfish nightmare, thought I was a good manipulator, had no idea how rude I was kind of person. Okay? Granted, I was drunk a lot of that time, but whatever's whatever. So when I say I relate to her, I don't mean in real time I turn the camera off and then I go give my cats away to strangers. I mean more like I get even though the feelings are selfish and immoral, and how could a person even make choices like that? I get it. I did. I don't now, so I have some perspective. But, I mean, she's She's gonna be alone. She's gonna be lone. Pete's mom has a friend that's gonna rent him a room. Is that the most current? That he's not gonna have to. Like, I feel for Pete's mom. Like, she probably wants some space too. Like, she's a senior. We have senior housing like that in the areas where I live. It's not for old people only, but it's usually for people on disability or social security with fixed incomes. So the places are sufficient for one person, but not really a lot for long-term guests. Kind of like Life by Jen's place. Rest in peace. She was there, and then Jean had moved in. And then she passed away, and I guess Jean must have, according to them, and it doesn't even matter at this point, he was on the lease appropriately through their company there. But we have, I've known people in the drug and alcohol field, your family throws you out, your friends throw you out, and you want to go crash. But if your friends live in public housing, you can't get caught staying there very long, or they'll get in trouble. So Pete would have been getting his mother in trouble by staying with her. I'm sure it's your son, no matter what kind of a load he is, you'd probably want him to be okay. But BB was nice and dodged a bullet. Well, nobody's a saint. I mean, he still turned a blind eye to her, but she wasn't as outwardly vicious at the time. I think the only people getting her wrath in the BB days were like, Peace would get it, or Rena. She'd have infighting with her friends, but now she just... Everything has to have a dramatic twist to it because her life is the content. And life isn't usually that dramatic. For most of us, sitting home for 24 hours on a weekend wouldn't look terribly interesting. And hers isn't either. But she'll make up stories and things to do to make it complicated and then act like they landed in her lap. She sought out these situations. She went to go get those situations, found them, put herself in there, and then complains about it. She was a mean girl. That's what from Shannon and some of the other folks who've known her a while said she was the mean girl. The thing is though, she thought she was the mean girl. High schoolers are mean. She was really the fat girl. She wanted to be known for something else, but everyone just knew her as the fat girl, probably. Yeah, the thriving on drama is exhausting. I think I watch it myself on these with kind of like a... Shannon and Chantal have their own relationship. For reasons known only to them, they can fight, carry on, stop talking to each other, start again, get over it in 2 days. I mean, I don't have friends like that, but I know people who do, I guess. It wouldn't work with me. Wannabe mean girl. She doesn't have a smart mouth. She can't come up with the good one-liners. She's had about 3 ever, but she's not bright enough in that sort of way. Even to be a reactor, that's why her reactions to the reactions don't work. She doesn't have insight. You can have something to say that's critical and thoughtful. She would just look at the camera and say, oh, French fry girl has a duty head. Oh, and her shoes were cheap 8 months ago. And this is what she was still on. Saying how this woman is a monster. She met her in person. They took a picture together. Fried flounder sandwich, fries, and a fried shrimp meal, I think. Now that sounds like a gallbladder attack. That sounds very, very decadent, actually. Santos sees rom-com couples going through conflicts and eventually they come together. She doesn't understand that, like, in real life, it's not for show. I think she thinks we're all as insincere as she is. That's when I think her racism stuff, when she starts to get comfortable saying really inappropriate things, is when she starts to buy into the fact that everyone's deep down kind of as nasty as she is. And so she doesn't feel shamed or uncalled for calling anybody anything because she believes everyone else has the same capacity to be a scumbag that she does. They're just not doing it now. Ala's wife, who she talked about, she picked out what she thought was the most offensive race and said 4 men of that color were sleeping with his wife. Yeah. Gallbladder attacks at my surgery. Oh, God. God bless. Popeyes. I saw Regina George wearing army pants and flip-flops, so I wore army pants and flip-flops, girl. Yeah. Gotta go. We'll watch the rest later. All right, Social Roach. Thanks for coming. Hey, Gitta. How are you? My hometown with my ex-best friend. So it's, yeah. If she was chubby, then I'm a model. I assumed that she was a rather hefty child. Chantal's never been thin. She should try it once. I was thin a couple times. It's so cool, especially if you've been fat forever. Not even fat, even if you've just been the one who's always a little chunkier than everyone. personal experience, it was so nice. Especially and this is the sick twist of the eating disorder. Got to a good weight. People said, wow, you look great. And I'm like, but I could look better, right? Just another couple pounds, just another 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds off, and then kaboom. So should try to be thin. Yeah, I put efforts in that direction, but they're mixed. They're mixed. And in typical Chantal style, it's the hypocritical thing. Like if you throw an insult at her regarding her looks, she can put one back on you. Plus, 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 plus. There's no sense of proportionate retaliation, which even if she wants to go by the Quran's version of eye for an eye, proportionate has to be the name of the game. You know, someone can't hurt your feelings in a chat and you decide to go get them fired from their job. You know, that's not proportionate. That's vengeful, spiteful. She's going to get a 6-pack. Try a keg. Try a keg. Her most exposed, it's so funny because her most exposing substance is alcohol. She's totally not herself on the edibles, but she has a very specific kind of high that she goes into. The drinking is very revealing. That's when we get the Cuba Bees, and that's when we get what she really thinks of everybody. And she breaks the fourth wall there and basically says, look, you guys are just a job to me. Sorry, everyone's got to work. This is my job. But the thing she has to do to maintain the outrageousness, like this is, to me, this is all just big one outrageous arc. Like, let's see how wild her choices can get, how bad the decisions can get. All of it. Because one thing to the next to the next. Bunch of trucks she's driving past, honking horns constantly like it's Saturday morning. I get back there. 1 hour and 40 minutes of cardio every day. I'm about to be skinny and toned. Woohoo! I will, yes, you, Moya, I want to manipulate you, and you will fall for it. And they did. I think all they could say was, oh, she was right. Well, yeah. I don't know. The teenage years, some shit happened to her as a little girl. I don't know what exactly, but like so much went bad. The fact that she was acting out like this when she was so young, like faking the suicide attempts or seeking the company of much, much older men. Stuff was going on there that shouldn't have been going on. And that makes her a victim in the circumstance because she was a child. Even if she did outward, grimy, selfish kid things, like trying to break up your mom from her boyfriend because you don't like him. Like that's petty and manipulative. That kind of manipulation skill doesn't just go away. It's brought into adulthood, I'm sure. Which is probably why mom was the one who let her stay. Every other one of her family members, where was Aunt Phyllis? She had to go stay with mom. And then even after that, with her mom and the drive-by and the this and the that. Now she's back at the villa. She had to go somewhere to find where she could binge and smoke and treat it like a crash pad. Because it's not hers anymore. It's just Pete's mess. And she's going to leave with just a suitcase full of stuff and walk out because she's lazy. So. Yeah, she might born under a bad sign. The stuff that she does, I mean, people talk about personality disorders with her. And what I think when I think personality disorder, as far as she goes, is it's not necessarily something that makes her disabled or something that makes her potentially violent or anything, but it's just part of who she is. She expects people to come and take all of her shit. Yeah, and then genuflect and thank them for it. Because it's a privilege to be in communication with her. According to her. You know, it costs money, literally. And if you want to do it in pajamas, you can do it on OnlyFans. Aunt Phil was she's couch surfing too, my mistake. Well, doesn't she have any family that she could stay with? I mean, it's kind of feeling more and more like every time Chantal has a fight with her family, she calls Aunt Phyllis. And Aunt Phyllis reminds her, they're all assholes. We're just living our lives. Blah, 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 blah. Everyone needs a cosigner, you know, and I think that's been one of her great cosigners in life. Pete's is one too, and to this extent, Sala. She needs someone who will just agree with her behavior, defend it, and say it's okay. They don't have to go to bat for her, but they just have to be okay with it. And loving her means loving that. You know, love me, love my bullshit. Is how Chantal presents herself. Except she presents herself initially with not that much bullshit to carry. She didn't necessarily look like she... Now, I could tell a 400-pound white woman in a burqa was going to carry a lot of attention. It's going to stand out. Not a burqa, excuse me. I'm sure she stands out. I'm so sure she stands out there. He's 18, 19, 20, 21. 18 is old enough. He's just a sweetie, too. I don't know. She said she was a spoiled brat and was never abused in any kind of way. Well, she doesn't see what she does as abuse, though. So I question her assessment of it. She might have thought she had a perfect childhood, but then when you ask her, she mentions the several times she was like, something happened. Spoiled, though, I do think happened. Whether it was to try to cover up for something bad that happened to her because a relative felt guilty about it. Maybe grandma thought she should have intervened. Maybe mom thought this, that. And I'm sure Chantal throws in their face when they fight. Totally throws in their face when they fight. Well, you didn't have me. I should have never been born. You should have this, you should have that. You were a terrible mother. I'm not a parent, but I think that would hit hard from the kid, even if you didn't like the kid. Even if the kid isn't the kind of person you'd hang out with as an adult. There's a little responsibility. She must have pulled something because she went over and crashed at her place. So, Dom. Thank you for the super sticker, Dom. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This arc could be it. We'll see, Megan. We'll see. I don't want to say I'm optimistic because I'm not exactly optimistic. Oh yeah, guilt trip 100%. I had to raise myself. You were out with other men. All this, all that. I mean, but she doesn't seem to get like any emotional needs met from her family. It's just when she needs like other shit, like a ride or a place to stay. I wonder if she ever calls and is like, I need to talk. God, I don't think she does. I don't think she needs or wants feedback very much. It sounded like at the beginning of Natter being gone, she said she was talking with BB on the phone and that he was giving her some sound advice. And at the time, we were all, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us were like, oh, good. It sounds like BB is like the only rock in her life, the only stable sort of person. I, in hindsight now, think that he probably just didn't answer the phone. And that she was talking to her aunt probably at the time. But in light of her aunt's kind of recent behavior, she didn't even grieve her grandmother. No, she didn't seem to. She didn't seem to. Welcome, everyone. There are 450 people in here. This is the largest any of our chats have ever been. So thank you and welcome, welcome. Hit the thumbs up if you like what you see. Don't feel pressured. So the birth of her sister had a complete... Yeah, she was Queen Bee, and it took the attention off of her, and it just... I don't know. It's not true. Like, everyone has a need for attention. To some extent. Maybe more when you're young, maybe less when you're old, but there's like a need for it. But hers is so insatiable that she will do such outrageous things to get that attention. Such outrageous things. And then look at people sideways like, well, you know, everyone does stuff like this. What, you're the only person who's ever... I'm the only one who's ever lied. I'm the only person that ever dropped their cats off at a Dairy Queen and then moved across the world. You know. Yes, well, that's the thing. The grief, her grandmother's death has use to her as a way to direct grief, as a way to try to assuage responsibility. I haven't been right since, and she'll pick something like 2 years ago and go from there. And she made it sound like with her family and her grandmother's passing that she was upset with some of them to the extent that she was there and they weren't, even though it was, I don't know, timed out that she was texting while grandma passed. I don't know. The whole point of that thing was pretty much that Chantal's pretty selfish. It's all about her. And if it's not about her, she's not very interested. So as far as attention gathering, she's had to go farther and wider. And these outrage things, like first, let me just give away my cats. Then I'm going to convert to another religion. After I met a guy 2 weeks ago, know nothing about it, wear all the garb so I'm a representative visually of this faith, and yet act completely opposite to how it calls for. Take it off. Take off the fucking hijab. It's enough. It's enough already. It's disrespectful to people who think it means something to them and who use it as a tool and a practice in their life, not a costume for their YouTube channel. If I said I was suddenly interested in Judaism, started wearing a yarmulke all the time, because why not? I'll just wear a yarmulke. I'm not Jewish. I'm not dating anyone Jewish. I just appreciate the culture. Then I'm going to come down and we're going to have bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, lobster, you know, and go all the way down the line doing things that don't line up with that. It doesn't hurt me, you know. No one's perfect. Geez, Steve. Hey. I'm the nice one. I'm usually the nice one. Usually. I don't have too much garbage to say about her generally. But this week, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had about 10 or so bullet points picked out that I did to go over. And we hit most of them. I'll take a double check. But the stuff with the pets just got to me the most. Pet feelings are new feelings in my life. I didn't have, like I said, I didn't start having a pet till I was in my 30s. I can't imagine dropping him off somewhere and leaving. Told the Kia dealership they didn't want to offer her anything. That's funny because the way I had heard it, she just decided to keep her car. She probably still owes on it. She could have paid off that car in what was a good month for her. I don't know, November, October. During the height of the Natter phase, she could have completely paid off the vehicle and kept it. I think I don't know. She might not get rid of it. She'll find herself back in Canada. She doesn't want to be wherever she is without wheels. Wasn't her responsibility if the cat wasn't eating. Whose is it? She left it with, how does she owe more than 10K on that piece of shit? That many years? Wow. Well, I think at this point, because she drove it into the ground. But she must have refinanced it. Like, of all the things, I would, like, if I had Chantal money for nothing, because she has a lot of free time. She doesn't have to spend a whole lot of time doing much else. I'd be tempted to buy things more permanent, like a place to live. Like the kind of thing she's having a hard time securing right now. All that money, instead of getting Long John Silvers and hash brownies, maybe put a down payment on a place that you can own. People can't throw you out of your own home unless you're, well, she would toe the line of that too. Like the neighbors calling the cops. I think it would be like that. She wanted $5,000 for it. Kias you can run into the ground. When I was car shopping, I found a used Kia with 230,000 miles on it. It was about $1,200. Testament to the car, for being driven into the ground. So, but her mother co-signed the car. She'd have to figure out what to do with it. It's still owed very high interest. I suspect if the loan was in her name, it's got to be high interest. And if Chantal was, whatever. Co-signer, yeah, I would think so. My first couple cars, I didn't buy new. I bought used cars, so I didn't need a co-signer. In my world, when you don't have a co-signer, you save more money. So you can either pay off more up front or they trust you to let it come off the lot. I know, I can't believe she's had that car that long. Like, how do you just not? And it's not like, I think she maybe thinks she doesn't have to. She's like, why am I going to pay $9,000 for a used Kia? Why am I going to pay it now? The car's not even worth that much. But you depreciated the whole value of it. She got the first Kia with BB, so that puts us back at least 10 years. Right? So, Steve, what do you think about Pete's? I had more to say about Pete's last week than this week. But I think he needs to really kind of take his blinders off because shit's going to change faster than he's ready. It's going to be the last day. He's going to be sitting in his computer chair, Zoom, like online, talking to us, and she'll come in with like a backpack and be like, it's time to go. We got to go. Like, what do you mean? You didn't take care of anything? What's going to happen to me? Because he's got this like not so cute learned helplessness thing. Like Chantal did a lot for him over the years, financially, talking, all that kind of stuff. And now that she's not doing that anymore, rather than learning to do it for himself, he's complaining that it's not being done for him. And Princess has to go work. Oh, so sorry. So sorry. Dom, thank you very much. I don't know if it's for good. For good doesn't exist in Foodie Beauty land. Nothing is for good. Nothing is forever. Nothing is sacred. Nothing isn't worth a laugh. And nothing is too important to make money off of. So, going to park the Kia at her mom's. My thing is, I was wondering if she was going to keep the car just because Canada's her safety net. Canada's, her safe spot where she's going to come back to if things all fall apart. That's where the family is. That's where mom is. That's, you always come home again. And I would suspect that she'd, stay at the motel after the 23rd. That's what I had heard. And the veterinary appointment for BBJ, I believe, is the 22nd. So my thinking is that BBJ leaves the house, but doesn't make it to the hotel. That's where I think that's going to probably end. So what bothers me is that they'll probably offer treatment as an option for BBJ and she'll turn it down. There was another channel I used to follow where they got rid of the cats because it was inconvenient. And it was a similar situation. It was very nonchalant, very much like, hey, they're in the, like, I don't think of pets as children. I know people do. I don't. I love my pets, but I don't think I feel the same way about, I don't know if we have the same depth of a relationship as I would maybe with a human. But that doesn't mean it is not special as hell, and that I don't want, that I can more easily cut it off than any other. Well, she's going to wait till it's a little sick first. The longer she waits, the worse health he'll be in by the time she takes him to the doctor. Because if they had said anything like it needs surgery, and if that cat could be treated with for $5 worth of medication, she would still probably say put it down. Because it's not the health of the cat. It's what's easiest for her. It's what's easiest for her to do in the moment. It is too inconvenient to have pets right now. And the idea of looking like a monster doesn't faze her because it's still more convenient to just throw the cats away than it is to anything else. Equine Lady. Well, you did catch us. We got a few more minutes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The whole thing is really sad with the Thanks, Dom. Thanks for being here. Have a good weekend. Oy vey. So she presents Sam's new owner. Yeah, in the community post. She had at the bottom of it. She seems a little too happy where, sorry, they are. What sucks is that what she's doing right now is really like one of, for how it's gone down, there's not many other ways to handle it. She should have planned this better from the beginning so that they would have had a home earlier, so that they were in good health and could have met somebody else. Not wait till the last minute and try to unload a pet of 20 years. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'd be dumb. I'd be dumb and put off plans. Call me dumb. I'd wait. I'd work around it. I can't do it. Not for that reason. It's not about putting an animal down. Sometimes you have to do the hard thing as a pet owner. But if it's for my convenience and not their health, then I'm an asshole. So, there. You can tell where I said I'm an asshole, not her. But nevertheless. So, Pickled Frog. Congratulations. So we're winding down a little bit. Yes, we're winding down this end of the stream. We've been on for about an hour. And Natter has a new channel intro. I'll have to take a look. Thank you, Otanky. I check his channel periodically, and then the couple's channels. But, like, since him and Dee Dee were doing their own thing, I don't really go over and bother with them. I don't have any question about the kind of people they are. I know what kind of people they are. At least they're not, well, Natter can't fake it because it comes out his pores how arrogant he is. But, so, folks, thank you all for being here, and thank you all for joining. This was the largest live chat we've ever had on the channel. And I see some new faces. I see some new folks. Thank you for coming. Welcome. Thank you, folks that have come back. So we'll leave it here with this. Next week will be a video. Like I said, it looks at this point like we're doing one live coffee talk a month, and then the other 3 will be videos. So the plan is to make a video for next week. So we will see you then. So thank y'all for being here. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and your feelings. Thank you for the super chat, Capricorn. I just saw that go by. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the thumbs up and the notification bell if you like. You'll get alerts when we have new videos and when we go live. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, just getting on Twitter, just barely. All that's in the description below. Thank y'all for being here, and we will catch up with you tomorrow. It's our normal Sunday live, 6 p.m. Open topic, no topic. She comes up. Sometimes she doesn't come up at all. It's just to hang out and bullshit and talk to the chat. So if you're free tomorrow night around 6, don't hesitate to come by. Thank you again for any new folks that are here, and welcome. And we will catch up with y'all soon. All right, look after yourselves. Look after each other. Bye.